Hello and welcome to my second video, the beginner's tutorials from Lovely Yarns Designs. Today we're going to have a look at the half double crochet, which is usually written as HDC, the double crochet, which is usually written as DC. Then we're going to have the treble crochet, which is usually written as TR, and the double treble crochet, which would be DTR. These are all the US terms. The UK terms are a bit different. So I worked already 2 rows. I worked 3 rows of DC here, but this would be 2 rows of half double crochet. These are the 3 rows of double crochet. These are 2 rows of treble crochet, and these are 2 rows of the double treble crochet, which are quite big stitches. I absolutely love double crochet. I always work this. I kind of like half double crochet. It doesn't grow that fast, but it's kind of a fast crochet stitch. So we're just gonna start with this. If you have a written pattern, most of the time it says, or it states, if you count the chain, the first chain, as a stitch or not. Usually with a single crochet, you wouldn't count it as a stitch. Usually with double crochet, treble crochet, treble crochet, this is kind of weird to say, you would count the beginning chain as a stitch. With the half double crochet, it sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So usually I don't count it because it's just such a small stitch. So you turn your work and then you start with 2 chains. If you start with the very first of the chain itself, let's say you want 20 stitches, they'll have 20 stitches. So you start with your 20 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. This is how I count in English. And so you have your 20 chain stitches here, but because you're going to work a HDC or DC or whatever, you're going to need some more just to begin then with. So for the HDC, you're going to work 2 more. So you would start with 22 chains, and then you start the first stitch in the 3rd from the hook. So this doesn't count here. So you start from the 3rd, there will be 1, 2, 3. So we start in this one here with a HDC in there. Let's say it's a DC. Like I said, you're going to have more chains. So you're going to work your 20, and then you work 3 more chain stitches here, and you're going to start in the 4th from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to start your stitch in here as well. The same then with the treble crochet. You're going to need 4 more. So you're going to start with 24. You're going to start in the 5th from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's this one. You're going to start here with the stitch, and with the double treble you're going to need 5 more. You're going to start in the 6th from the hook. I hope that wasn't too fast. If you have any question, just write anything in the comment or send me a message on Instagram on my webpage. I'm more than happy to answer anything if I can. So we go on further with our HTC. I hope everyone can understand my little accent. So the half double crochet. We have our 2 chains, and now we start with a stitch. We're going to get 1 loop around the hook. We go into the stitch here through both of them in the stitch. We get the yarn there and pull it through. So we have 3 on the hook, and then we go and get the yarn once more and pull it through all 3 of them at the same time. And with this we have our first HTC. So we're going to do it again. We get 1 loop, we go into the stitch, get another one. We have 3 on the hook. We get the yarn once more and pull it to the 3 at the same time. This is what I meant with it's a really fast stitch, because you just kind of go next, next, next. So it's a really fast one. I kind of like it. It just doesn't grow that fast like the normal double crochet. I don't know, this is just a normal stitch for me. That's why I say the normal double crochet, because it's just a stitch I use daily and everywhere, and I just really love it. But I mean, you can see that the holes in between is a bit bigger, so this one is just a bit of a good solution if you don't want a single crochet because it's so tight, or you don't want a double crochet because it's just so big loop holes in the middle. It's kind of a good one, and it's like you see, it's really fast worked. This is why I really like it. I'm going to show it once more a bit close up here. You have your loop here, you go and get another hook, you go into the stitch, get another loop, you have 3, go and pull it through all 3 at the same time. With the HDC, if we said we don't count the chain as a first stitch, you're going to need to work the last stitch here in the last top of the stitch, which is going to be different in the DC, and this is really important to take care of, because if you don't take care of this, you're going to end up with an uneven piece of work, or you suddenly have more or less stitches. So just count them, make sure you have the right amount of stitches, because if you suddenly see 20 rows down, you made a mistake. That's quite annoying. So just make sure that if you don't count the first 2 chains, the last stitch goes on top of the stitch here. So this would be the HTC. Like I said, any questions, just get in touch with me. I'm going to show you now the DC. I'm going to show this one in just a bit shorter, that doesn't need that much of explanation because it's similar enough to the double crochet. Here we're going to have the double crochet. This is the previous round, so we're going to turn it. And this time double crochet equals 3 chain stitches. So we're going to work 1, 2, 3, and like I said, this 3 chain count as the first stitch, which means we're not going to work in here, you're going to work in the second one here from the hook. So we're going to go and get 1 loop over the hook, we go not in the first, we go in the second, we grab the yarn, we have 3 loops on the hook, we go and grab it once more, but we only pull it through 2 of them, not as before all of them, just 2. Then we go and grab it again and pull it through 2, and we have our first DC. So once more, we get the hook, we pull a loop, we go into the stitch, get another yarn through, we have 3 loops, and we pull it 2 and 2. So once more, in the stitch, 1 loop, in the stitch, another one, pull it 2, 2. This is how we work our 20 DC. Just gonna go a bit faster so we're not gonna be here for too long. This is a yarn I got from, I think it was Aldi. I got it as a gift. I don't really like the feeling of it for clothes or whatever, to be honest. But I kind of like how it looks with this sudden colored patches in it. And it's pretty nice to show how to work on them, but it feels a bit rough. I don't know what exactly was. I just got it without the ball or whatever. So we are at the end. This must be now 18 stitches. Like we said, we count this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, like it. That's right. So then I'm just gonna show it a bit closer once more. You're gonna go and get the yarn around, go into the stitch, grab the yarn. You're gonna have 3 loops, grab the yarn, go through 2 and 2. So this is the last stitch from the row before. And usually with the HDC, like I said, this will be the finish. But if you finish here, you're gonna have an uneven one with less and less stitches. So to finish this and to get a nicer border, because this would look a bit not that nice, it's okay with a smaller stitch, but when the stitches are bigger, you just want to have a nicer border. So you're going to work your last, the 20th DC in the very top of the previous chains. So you're just going to get 1 stitch in here. This is the top of the last 3 chain from before. So you want to work your DC in here, and now you see it looks way better than like it looked just before, very uneven. It looks a bit off here, but when you work the next row, this is going to be the second last stitch, and you're going to have the last stitch here again in here, which kind of pulls this up again, and you're going to have a really nice square and nothing uneven, and it's going to be proper. So this is just what you have to take care of, because many beginners make a mistake here and don't count this and then work the last in here, and then they have less and less stitches. So this is the DC. Then I'm just gonna show how to make the stitch, because in general it's similar enough to the DC. So you count the 4 chains as the first stitch. So with a treble crochet you work 4 chains to get the same height. You don't work in the first, you work in the second, because this one counts. The difference is you're going to work 2 loops on the hook for a treble, and then you go in the stitch, you pull through, you get the yarn again and pull it through 2 and 2 again, and then a third time 2. This is why it's called a treble crochet, because you work 3 times. So you go in the yarn, you pull it through 1, 2, 3. So once more, 2 times. What is this? In the stitch you have 1, 2, 3, 4. You get it through 2, 2, 2, and this is exactly how you work it until the end. And again, with the same with the double crochet, you work your second last in the stitch itself, and you work your very last on top of the chain from before. And then we're gonna have for the last here the double treble crochet, which is again similar enough. I rarely, almost never use this stitch, but I mean it works up so fast. That would be pretty nice for a blanket because it's so fast worked. So you work here, we had 3 chains, 3 chains, 4 chains, 5 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the same again, counts as the first stitch, so not the first goes not in here, it goes in here, and this time you're gonna pull it through 3 times. So 1, 2, 3. So you have 4 loops. You go into the first stitch, you get your yarn through, you're gonna have 5. You work 1 through 2 loops, 2, 2, 2. So you work it 4 times. So 1, 2, 3 in the stitch, pull it through. You have 5 loops on your hook. You pull it through 2, 2, 2, and I just lost it here. 2, 1, 2, 3 in the stitch. 2, 2, 2, 2. Here we go. Again until the end. The second last stitch goes in here, and the very last on top of the chain. And this is how you would work the double treble crochet. So these are the basic stitches. I hope it's understandable. I hope it helped. If you have any questions, as usual, just write in my comments, send me a message, like I said, on Instagram or wherever. I'm usually quite fast with replying. I hope you had your fun, and I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.